An often not used feature of Excel allows you to have things like images inside cells and charts inside cells, like these line charts and these bar charts as well. Also checkboxes using some of the new features. My name's David and I love talking about the rarely used features in Excel. So let's have a look at those. First, we're going to look at the trend line here. And to do that, you have this really cool feature. If you select the cells, you can go to the Insert tab and then you can choose here Sparklines line. And then it says the data range I selected is that, the location range I selected here. Press enter and press OK, and then I get this line inside the cell. I can drag it down because it's just in a regular cell. I have these extra options. I can add markers, I can change the color or the style. I can choose that, for example, and then make further customizations, like the markers would be this black color, for example, like that. And I can also make the weight thicker, something that I regularly do. There are a couple of things to note about these things. So firstly, even though the highest point is 6,000 for this data, it's actually always showing me at the highest point because it's only comparing it to that. So here, for example, it's 3,000, which is half of that, but it's still showing me as pretty much the same. However, you can change that. If you go to axis, you can have the vertical axis minimum and also the maximum. So I can say same for all sparklines, then it will look more like this. And then the maximum, I can also say same for all sparklines, and it will look like that. But personally, I like the defaults. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z twice because I think it's good to compare in line with what you're asking for rather than to compare too much. So Sparkline is up here in case you lose it. You also have the ability to set the custom value to 0, again, if you really want to, but it's not something I would usually recommend. Then you also have the ability, if you don't like the markers, just to have the high or just the low, things like that. That could be in different parts. Here it's the second value, here it's the third value, etc. So yeah, that could be useful. Only have the negative points and first, last, etc. You have these other types of sparklines. I personally don't find them very good. I only think the line one is actually useful. Win-loss, maybe if you're looking at something like, take off the high and low, maybe win-loss is if you've got like win-draw or something like that. So for sporting teams, so if someone's got any negative number, it would show like that. If they've got a 0, it would show like that. I personally don't like them. I just use the line ones. And also, if you want to hide, or better than hide, the Y users group, then this is worth noting. They do disappear. This is how Excel deals with all of charts that are linked to hidden cells. If you want to change that, you can go to Edit Data and Hidden and Empty Cells, and then just tick this box, Show Data in Hidden Rows and Columns, and you'll get it back. I think this is the way that it should be by default, so it's pretty good. Interestingly, if you press the delete button on your keyboard, it doesn't get rid of them. You can go to clear in the Sparklines tab, or you can also go to clear Sparkline groups. So it does group them together, which is why it recolors. One of them means recoloring all of them. So you can clear all the groups all one by one. And also in the Home tab, clear and clear all. Not many people know this exists, but here this will also get rid of Sparklines. How do you get the bar charts inside the cell? Well, here I've got the totals, which add together these numbers. To get the chart, I'm going to write equals and click on this cell. And then I'm going to drag it down, or double clicking will do the same action. And in this one, I'm going to choose this awesome thing called conditional formatting. You can choose data bars and choose a color you like. Let's keep with this kind of purple theme. So I'll go with the purple data bar like that. Now to go a step further, you can actually just have it side by side with your number by going to conditional formatting and manage rules. And then here I can click on edit rule and just tick the box that says show bar only. That will mean that I will not have the number in it. And I find this much neater than any other way of doing data bars, where you've got the number and then on the side of it, you've got the actual bar linked to it as well. So tick boxes, checkboxes, feature that came out in 2024, insert, and here you have them. Really, really useful. You can select them like that. You can also mass select them or deselect them with spacebar. If you want to delete these, press delete once and it will uncheck them all. Press delete a second time and it will get rid of them. All right, and then we have the ability to put the images inside the cells as well. So for the longest time, you've been able to insert images into Excel, but now you can place them inside the cells. So if I select the cell that I want, I can go to place in cell, which is probably not the best name for it in my opinion. And then you can go to stock images, and we have land, air, rail, and sea. So you can search for them in these big stock images. These will go inside the cells. So if I go, for example, for a car, let's go for this one, and then airplane, this one, and then it will just insert two of them one by one. But I just like icons. I think icons are a lot smarter in the sense that they are very clean. You can recolor them. They are default in black, but you can recolor them to anything you want. So if I put that as a rail item like this, I'm going to press insert and we'll see how it is. Okay, so hasn't quite got it. This was my car, but because they're inside cells, I can do pretty much anything. I can cut and I can paste, and this as well. Control X, Control V, Control X, Control V. You can also use them in filters. So if I add my filters like this, I can click on there and it uses the alt text associated with it, which comes out by default when you are inserting it this way. If you insert your own, then you might have to type in the alt text. You can edit the alt text by right clicking and choosing view alt text and editing it here. So I'm just going to say big car there. And then it will appear in the filter as well. You can use these in formulas, no problem at all, like that. You can use them in pivot tables, in lookup functions, pretty much anything that you want. So a couple of things to note though, you can get it from here into the regular floating object like that by clicking there and click here to go back in. And if you right click on a picture in cell, you get these new options. Place over cells does what I just showed you. Create reference will keep the original one, but show you a kind of linked object. So this is used sometimes for Python. Python produces charts that are visualizations that you can put in cells, but take them out as well. So the reference will be useful for that. And show preview, I don't really see the point of this, but yeah, those are the options that you can do with it. Now, interestingly, the icon, I cannot change the color like I can in the regular icons. And even if I pop it out, it now stores it as a picture rather than as a graphic. Whereas if I insert pictures over cells of stock images and icons, for example, this one and this one, here, Excel treats them differently to pictures. So I get the extra format. I can make it any color that I want. I can give it an outline as well. And then if I want this inside the cell, I can click on that and it goes into the cell, but click back out and now it's converted it into a picture, which is a lot less flexible in terms of what you can do with it. And there you go. I just put in the ship inside in the same way. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that video. My name's been David Benham, and I love doing videos on what's new in spreadsheets and a lot of the features that people don't talk about. Thanks for watching.